Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Soul Diving Sunday show featuring transformational life coach Shelley Whizin and your hosts Lisa and Nancy. Welcome, everyone. It is Soul Diving Sunday time with Shelley Whizin, and today, transformational life coach Shelley Whizin is going to teach us about the art of shifting, how to shift. After all, it is the season of change coming up on us for fall, so I love this kind of topic about really making those changes that we need to do in life, and sometimes we feel a little overwhelmed by it, but I have a funny feeling that Shelley's going to walk us through some steps we can take that won't feel so overwhelming. And if you do feel overwhelmed, kind of get like that once in a while, she's got a wonderful course coming up, a free workshop called it's all about the art of shifting, and that is on October 11th, 2025, just in case you're listening to this in 2026. If you're listening in 2026, call Shelley.
You missed it. Yeah,
just go to ShelleyWhizin.com and she'll still help you. So, hey, Shelley, how are you doing?
Good, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to learn about shifting because sometimes I think sometimes I know I do. I bite off a lot. Like, my ideas are bigger than what can be done in 1 minute kind of thing. So how do we shift without killing ourselves?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You see this tiny little screwdriver?
I was like, please don't make me go to the dentist right now.
Oh, no. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little screwdriver. It's usually you use them for tightening up your glasses. You know, that tiny little screw?
Yeah.
So shifts don't have to be monumental.
Okay.
Shifts can be teeny, tiny adjustments in our thinking. And it goes such a long way when we shift just a teeny tiny bit.
Okay.
It's not, sometimes we think change has got to be monumental. And when we think of it as monumental, it feels so big that it's unattainable and that it's going to take so much time. And it's going to take this and it's going to take that. And sometimes it's just a little tweak in the way that we think. And it goes, oh my God. You know, when you get it, something clicks, right? It shifts, something shifts when you get it.
I love this because we're at that last quarter of the year and the season of change comes and it's like, oh, okay, this year I'm not going to eat too many cookies. Well, you probably will, but maybe you could just not have that extra one, but you can still have a cookie. Or we're also getting towards that season of the dreaded New Year resolutions and I said dreaded because people do exactly what you're talking about. It's like, let's make these monumental changes. And then 3 weeks later into the new year, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, they start to say, I should have done this, should have, and all those words that you don't like.
Right.
I didn't do that to make you upset. I was just saying that's where the should have.
No, I know.
We start should having ourselves.
That's right. We should all over ourselves all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
That word, we need some tweezers for that one to pluck it right out of our language.
Yeah. So I like this because I think it sets us up for some success here.
Yeah. And again, the shifts that we make don't have to be monumental either. I know for me, I get hard on myself because I have high expectations of myself. High. And then when I don't meet my own high expectations or when I'm going to do something or if I'm going to do something or the way I'm going to do something, whatever, then I get disappointed. And then it's like rewinding the whole excitement loop again, and I take myself down when I don't allow myself the joy of recognizing the little shifts that I make.
Yeah. So little successes equal the big success.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. The word success, you said in both sentences. Who cares if it's little or big? You can't be a little bit pregnant.
Well done. That was a good one. I don't want to be at all.
No, but you can't be. So no matter if you wanted to be or not, you could.
I know it's that ship has sailed. But I was gonna say that doing the little bits actually become lifestyle changes. So if we're looking at a shift in a lifestyle change, maybe even the way, maybe if we have a habit, say, of putting ourselves down or getting mad at ourselves. And so maybe the shift is every time you go to think that way, maybe replace it with something that makes you happy about yourself. And then it becomes actually excellence versus success, right? Because that means it's continued. So I like this pattern that we're creating.
My sense is it's important for us, for me, for all of us, to focus on acknowledging what we do
Mm.
and having some praise and validation for saying, wow, look what you just accomplished. You went from that room to this room
Yeah.
in order to do your work. You actually took yourself and you planted yourself in the seat and you put yourself in front of the computer and you opened up your work and you're focusing on that. So
Mm.
good for you. I say that, and I don't often do that myself
Mhm.
because I have such high expectation that I have all these to-dos, and once I'm done, I'm like, "Okay, what's on to the next one, the next one, the next one?" It's almost like I didn't even give myself the one I just got.
You got to eat some cake. Just saying, get that chocolate cake out, you know. Eat those turkey burgers you just talked about on
Oh,
a
I just
previous
made
podcast.
some, they're delish.
Oh man,
Yeah.
man. I was going to say too, September is self-awareness month. So I think this ties in pretty good because it means that you have to be aware of your positives and it doesn't and I think we're scared of that because in a way we're always taught not to pat yourself on the back in the day, right?
Yeah, my mother said it was conceited to like anything about yourself.
Conceited. Well, some people do get conceited over stuff. That is a
That's true, however,
ah,
there's the middle ground in that. So
okay.
you defame yourself or you deplete yourself, you diminish yourself, dismiss yourself for the sake of what? And then because you don't want to be conceited, but then there's no, there's got to be a middle ground to be able to give yourself the accolades that your effort paid off, that you made an effort, that you put some
Mhm.
energy into what it was that you wanted. And so, we get that mixed up, I think. We don't allow
Mhm.
ourselves to really see that. So, one of the reasons I created this series, and it's a series of
Mhm.
workshops, which I just really
So
love.
it's not one big shift.
Right. Well, there's different ways in order to get to the shift. The shift is
Okay.
like the action part.
Okay.
The series is the conflict to connection. And there are three ways of looking at it. I use symbolisms with acronyms a lot. So it's we must be able to see what the heck's going on first. Can't do anything unless we see it, right? And then the second S is speak. We must be able
Ah,
to speak from the heart and speak from our truth and speak human to human. That's what the second workshop was about. It's the speak part because we need to be able to speak our truth from a heart, not from the ego and not
mm,
from a place of fear, not from a place of shame or blame.
ooh,
And that's what this whole workshop is about. And there'll be a replay of it. And it's allowing yourself to get in touch with what your soul wants to say from one human being to another. We all have our experiences in common. We all have emotions. We all are happy. We all are sad. We all have joy. We all have anger. We all have it from one human being to another. So
mm,
that's part of the way in which we can reconcile and be more of who we are by being able to speak up, but
yeah,
speak up from a different place. And that's what the Speak workshop is about. And the upcoming one, Shift, is what do we do with it? How do we shift? How do we put it into action? How do we do it from the heart with love so that, it doesn't blow up? Like sometimes we speak up, but we're speaking out and we're lashing out instead of speaking out because it's such suppressed whatever because we don't speak up. So when we learn that we can speak from a place of love and heart, the communication is different, the tone is different, the reception is different, the delivery is different.
yeah. I like this because even when we're talking about if you're coming from an authentic place, right, and looking at how you are talking to yourself or to others, right? Are you being positive? Are you being negative? Are you just being truthful but kind truths, right? Speak with good purpose, kind of things. That stuff. It allows us when we're talking about how our ego can also become a little bit over the top. Well, the beauty is that humans are human, as you always remind us. We're human. We get to screw up all the time. And the reality is, if we don't screw up, number one, you're not learning. Number two, how boring, you know. So, and I think the mistakes that we make in life are like necessary. That's our step ladder to growth is through mistakes. And once we realize that, that puts some humility into the ego, doesn't it? In a way, if we look at it.
Yes, 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 yes. And it's all done in little tiny bitty increments. I mean, we didn't get a man on the moon with a straight arrow.
You mean he
Straight.
just didn't just lasso the moon and start
No,
swinging like that little boy sitting in the moon?
exactly. No, we use these teeny tiny little adjustments because if it was a mil not even a mil I can't even probably say the word of how little the adjustment is to get that man on the moon or woman on the moon, the
He
rocket
started
to the moon.
skipping rope and went elevated just that little bit.
That's right, because if you went too far, too many, 1 or 2 of these, the thing would have gone out into space and we would have lost it. So they had to do, "No, no, 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 just a tiny bit. Oh, yeah, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right." Tiny little adjustments, and that's what we get to do and learn how to do in our life in that upcoming workshop, which is the shift part, kind of bringing it all home and, it's living more fully who you are with humor and
Uh,
love and kindness and joy, and make those the intention of your life, the quality of your life. It's deepening the quality
uh.
of life, which I love.
That
That's
means we have to be more present. Yeah.
and I
So
always
we're
ask, what is it that you want to feel in your last breath? What is it?
oh,
And so
and
feel it now, because
happy.
now is all we have.
Yeah. The present, being more present and conscious. It's a you have to be more conscious to get yourself to be conscious. Like you
Yeah.
have to put that. Does journaling help with the little shifts to keep yourself on track to do that? Because
Yes.
journaling, those kinds of things, and
Yes.
vision boards, and just kind of maybe even, waking up in the morning, read like a list of, like intentions of what you want to do, what your little shifts are going to be.
Yeah.
List them and then read them,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Do
Yeah.
you have to write them every morning or can you write them once and then read them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the Daily Love Vows book that I wrote,
Oh,
365 love vows that you can say to your mate, your partner after the wedding or in relationship or in, mother to mother, mother to daughter, daughter to father. It
mm.
doesn't matter. These love vows are human to human love vows,
Well, you could do it for yourself.
and you do it for yourself.
I like
It
this.
we all want I think I know for me, we all love to have some reminder, but in a soft, kind way, not in a scolding way. I know if I'm get into anything with someone and my daughter, let's say, and I tell her I'm feeling disappointed instead of her being mad at me for that because she let me down or I think she let me, any of
Yeah.
that stuff around it.
Yeah. The you,
And just go,
this.
"Wow, mom, that would be enough."
Wow. I'm going to try that. I'll do that to Nancy.
You know?
She'll just look at me and say, okay, let's go have some wine.
Exactly.
Well, this is, because I think we have to maybe remember how to communicate with ourselves to be better communicators with others.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
the communication with ourself is, what's my intention in saying what I'm gonna say? Where
Mm,
does it come from? And am I bringing love into
mm,
this moment? What am I bringing? Like, ties back to the book I wrote. What do you bring to the table? What
mm.
am I bringing to the table of my
Chocolate cake.
chocolate cake is in the book.
Yes, I want that chocolate cake.
That's
Since day
simple.
one, since we first met you, I'm like, this chocolate cake and
Oh,
Lisa
I
are going
have
to
to
be good
stay
friends.
somewhere long enough where I'll send it to you. I'll
I'm
make
going
it
to,
and I'll send it to you.
okay, I'm going to send you an address right after
Send
this.
me an address. Give me like 3, however long it takes to get there.
I want chocolate cake. Listen, I think we're supposed to have it, even if it's, a little addition here and there to the,
There's
the weight zone. Who cares?
yeah,
Eat your cake,
yeah,
before we go. And that joy of something as simple as a chocolate cake
yeah.
is,
Or a delicious conversation. You can feel satiated from a delicious conversation because you get a very deep soul satisfaction in a delicious conversation.
I agree.
To me, this is a delicious conversation and I'm enjoying it so much. It's filling me with so much nourishment and joy. And I can taste I'm eating the chocolate cake right now.
I can taste sugar and I can taste chocolate and a little bit of moist chocolate.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
need the moist, you know? Everything grows in moist
Yes.
things.
Unfortunately, so does yeast.
I know. And we're not supposed to say the word moist. Apparently, people hate that word, but I say it as often as possible, but because
That's
it
right.
makes me giggle,
That's right.
So that's a good thing, no?
Right. I get
Well,
it.
that's the thing with shift and say shifting like where we're talking about communication. Maybe that's a thing
Mhm,
that you're going to shift, right?
mhm,
Is
mhm.
how one communicates with oneself to communicate better with others because like you were saying high expectations, right? When we start really doing that, and I'm one of those, I'm a Virgo and I'm definitely the list, but it's a big list. And then like you're saying, if I'm not getting it done, I start to freak out, the anxiety, the drama. And then what everything that's on the list actually brings joy because I enjoy what I'm doing, right? So I'm stealing joy if I'm not getting it done. But the reality is, take time, enjoy the list, right? Enjoy your things. But if I start getting strung out, then I start getting strung out on others. There's like that ripple effect. And so when I look at shift, everything we do is a ripple effect. So it's actually for those who are like me, who are little control freaks with lists, control the ripple. Like what kind of ripple do you want to go out? Because no matter what we do, even if we do zero in our life, nothing, if I'm just going to sit on the couch, that's going to create a ripple effect. So we have to choose our ripple. Does that make sense?
Yes. What ripple do you wanna put out in this? Chocolate ripple. We're in a pool of chocolate.
Yeah.
You could open your mouth and just let the chocolate come in.
Yes. Yeah, too much of a good thing though. But yeah, but
Well,
that is it. It is
yeah,
that and I think when we do make these shifts and changes, right? We are in a way controlling our life better. And when we don't have control over our own human being, then we start not being a happy, nice human being to others. Does that make sense?
makes perfect sense, of course.
See, look
Yeah.
what you did to my brain here today. Eats the cacao.
Stimulated it.
You stimulated it with talks of chocolate and chocolate and consciousness. Remember, we did that one podcast about chocolate and it went into
Yeah, yeah,
consciousness, but it
right.
is.
It is,
No.
totally.
So these workshops, how do they work for people to know? Are they online? Are other people part of it? Do
Yeah.
they get to communicate? Okay.
So it's a group, it's intimate group, which I love, and I love large groups as well. And it's a way if it's large groups, we have breakouts so everybody can share and say something. And it's a mixture of coaching, real
Mhm.
live coaching if somebody has something coming up, and guidance and going into the reason why people are there, depending on which workshop. In the C, it's just not being aware of certain things in their life. What are they looking at? What are they not looking at? You know? And then take a look at that. And then what do they believe about all of that? And so it's a process of being able to see where we are in our lives, truly see and own it, not make it up because we're ashamed of where we are in our relationship and we don't want anybody else to know. And it feels, shameful and, all of that. And so to be able to see ourselves with love and to see how what our purpose is in life and for the highest and greatest good and to hold that even in the relationship, especially in the relationship, not only with ourselves, but with each other from one human being to another, being spiritual and having a human experience, having a soul, having a human, having the soul. What's the egg, chicken
Hmm.
or the egg? you know?
Okay.
So it's having that relationship between the human and the soul and creating this beautiful love affair between the
Yeah.
human and the soul, your own,
Mm-hmm.
honoring and revering each side of that because we are each side of that. We cannot not be divine. We cannot not be because our spirit, our energy, if you want to say, moves us, animates us, makes us alive,
Hmm. And
and
float.
when that energy dissipates or goes after we die, the body is laying there like
Mm.
a lump on a log.
Well, hey, speaking of lumps on logs, they do have coffins made out of mushrooms so that they
Yes, they do.
decompose into this.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. I know that's not what we're
There's
supposed to
so
talk
many
about today,
new
but
ways. That's a whole nother beautiful topic that I'm happy to talk about. But
too.
yeah. And so the reason why these workshops evolved was understanding my clients were talking about their struggle in their relationships and that their husbands don't see them. They don't feel seen. They don't feel heard
Oh,
and they don't feel supported
that's
in.
a very common thing.
Yes. So this series from conflict to connection is a way through that.
So do both people need to be there or just the one
No,
person feeling
no.
them?
It's always one person is the person who's more conscious will attend. And, that's the other thing. We can't always, our partners, if they don't want to grow or they're not interested in this human growing thing, right? There's not a lot of room to be who you are in that kind of
Mm.
relationship. So we see, is this the kind of relationship I want to have for the rest of my life? If nothing changed, nothing, how do I feel? How would I feel in my last breath? Regretful, sorry, bitter, angry?
Mm.
What did I do with my life? Why did I put up with a relationship that's less than wonderful?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And that's a hard truth, and
It
the
is. It is.
bitter is bad. Bitter just
It
really, I
is. It
don't like even
is.
the word bitter.
Yes.
Even when people put bitters in cocktails, I go,
Yeah.
"No, I don't want it.
Yeah.
No bitter,"
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
That's how the second workshop
That
evolved. The whole thing just evolved, was about
that's awesome.
speaking up. When we hold
Mm,
ourselves down for whatever reason, we diminish ourselves, we don't speak up for the
mm,
sake of fear or, something. There's a fear of something, and it's
mhm,
usually born in our childhood. And
mm,
I've been listening to Mel Robbins, and it's so wonderful how she
mhm.
coaches people online, and I just love her so much in the way that we're so simpatico in the way that we think and see things. And so, being able to admit to speak up, but how do we speak up? We're going to blow it up by speaking up because it's so suppressed that,
That's
you know,
yeah, I've done that,
and I've
but
I've herniated 2 discs in my neck doing that. I was screaming at my husband because I had just had that
boy,
thing snapped in my neck.
wow, that's like
Yeah.
a wake-up call.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah. I was
that's like
flat on
a
my back for 6 months
and
after.
then you get even angrier.
Well, no, I had to go inside and really do a lot of deep healing because
Yeah.
that was all internal. That was
Wow,
all, yeah.
yeah.
I really had to see my whole thing
There's
in.
like when they say there's that one comedian, "There's your sign."
Yeah, that was a
That
big
was a sign. Yeah, I think sometimes things like that happen to us. I remember being in a car accident and it just and I was like, whoa. It was just really, first it's like, oh, is it my fault, their fault, And it wasn't. But it made me realize that it just, everything, it just kind of went into this weird warp the next day. And it made me and I remember all these signs coming in of the importance of not going around too fast, that I'm not being
slowing down.
conscious. It was this
Yeah,
lesson of every time you go too fast, too far, you get hurt,
yeah, yeah,
and it's that those things, sometimes those signs are there and it's up to us to be back to consciousness, right? To see
yeah,
them
yeah.
and do something, not just see them and ignore them, because like you
Right.
said, that will lead
And
to
who are we
another.
living our life for anyway then? For the thought of the way somebody else thinks we ought to live our life, and then we start living our life, and then somebody says, "Oh, you're selfish." You go, "Well, wait a minute. Whose selfish am I living? Yours or mine? Because you
Mhm.
have an idea of the way you think I should live my life, but I'm not living my
Oh,
according to the way you think I should. So you're the one who's being selfish, wanting me to live the life the way you think I should live my life according to you."
you know that I've had to deal with that my whole life, from speaking of pregnancy, right? Because I chose not to do all of that was not my path in life.
Right.
And it doesn't mean I'm a caregiver in all different ways. I've been called selfish, and not just me, all the women who have made decisions not to have children were selfish, because we live a life about ourselves. And like if you're a single child, you're selfish. So
Right.
I'm a double-barreled selfish person.
Yay, capital
Yeah,
letters. Yay,
a
go, go.
double.
Picture this self, right?
Mhm.
Dash ish.
Yeah, ish. I'm a ish.
but selfish. It's like you're kind of
Yeah. Yeah. It's the opposite.
yes.
Yeah. And it's like, it's very interesting to me because I always thought, well, even as a parent, I understand parents run ragged, they're tired, especially with newborns, right? There's that exhaustion point. But if the parent is like why grandparents come in and friends and family and, the village, it takes a village, right? Because if the mom never gets to sleep, she's not going to be a great mom. Like she physically won't be able, she needs to take care of herself. That whole thing about, taking the oxygen when you get on the plane, or whatever, you're going to plane crash, whatever you're going to do, suck up the oxygen for yourself first. You've got it so that you can help others. So it's kind of like, yeah, well, I'm doing what I can do to help others in a different way. And it's a very, I think it was a generational thing of that is you're selfish if you don't do that. You're selfish. You're all about yourself. And like,
Isn't that awful?
yeah, it's just,
Oh my God, we're actually living the life we're choosing to live.
yep, I know. And so now it's just when I was younger, I was just like, I can't say it, but when someone would say something like that, it would
Yeah,
be like,
yeah,
and then my reaction came off kind of selfish and
yeah,
not too pleasant. But now
yeah,
I'm like, that's your belief.
yeah,
Good for
yeah,
you. You
yeah,
have a belief.
yeah,
And maybe you'll change your belief or not. And,
yeah.
is it up to me to tell you how to believe? No.
Right, right, exactly.
But,
So see, that's a shift in thinking right there. That's a
hmm
different way of thinking. When somebody thinks a certain way and then you offer them a different way of looking at it. Like what I love to do is just offer a different perspective maybe you didn't consider before. And I know that when I would entertain a different perspective that I didn't consider before, it shifted that tiny little bit enough to catapult me into not doing that one so much.
I like that.
Do you
I
know what I
like
mean?
that. Yeah, yeah, because it's just that little, like when you say self dash ish, right? It's a very interesting way you can go.
And
And
then
yeah,
who's selfish? Whose?
yeah,
Which one's selfish is the one we're going to end up living? Somebody else's idea of
mhm,
the way we should live our life or our idea of the
yeah.
way we
It's
want
about that
to live our
remote control. Where's the remote control?
It's right here, always here.
Yes,
This
yes.
is a baby's teething thing.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical.
Isn't that funny?
It is.
Put that in the kit. That's in the kit.
Yeah, because you always have kits,
I do. I
glasses,
love
and
the
yeah,
kit.
I really like your part here about there's always another side to a story. Our friend Eva, she says it's three. There's always three sides to a story,
Mm.
not two. There's
Yeah.
always a third one, and the third one lies in the gray area,
Mm.
and that's where things can grow. That's the moist area. I said it. Nancy's giggling in the background now. I know she is because I said it.
That's yeah.
Well, very cool. I hope you do more and more and more of these workshops.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this series every
Mhm.
quarter.
Well, I love it. I love it. So everyone,
Every quarter.
ShelleyWhizin.com. She's got a new website. Go check it out.
And
She's
that
splashing it.
I feel so proud of myself. I made that website. I
And
never
it's
did
bright and
anything like
colorful
that in
and
my life,
it's
ever.
cheerful. See? Look what you did. Selfish.
I know you selfish, whatever.
Woman. Selfish. Yeah.
I did
But
something for myself.
no, it's to help people.
It
Really.
is to help people. It is.
And it's
That's true.
because
It is true.
and it's cheerful, and most people do not do cheerful, colorful, bright, happy websites.
Mm.
It's, especially in the work that you do as a life coach, but you're transformational, which means we get to go from the dull to the color.
Right.
You
And
know
end
what I
of
mean?
life. Let's not leave out end of life. That's a very important part of my existence.
Well, once you really start to deal with end of life, you start to live life, right?
That's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it's become so astute for me and so
Mm,
so immediate because I know what that moment of the last breath is and if that person what they were feeling before they went.
very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. Well, thank you as always, Miss
Oh,
Shelley.
my
Big fun,
pleasure.
and everyone will catch up with Shelley in October in time for her next series too. So
Yeah,
we'll be able to talk about how part one went,
yeah.
the speaking part of
Part
the
3.
series.
This is going to be part 4. 2
Okay.
part 4.
Okay. We'll catch up. I don't have all the numbers straight in my head, obviously. Don't ask me what day it is because I'm selfish. I don't know. But everyone, go to ShelleyWhizin.com. She's got great resources on there. You can also catch up with the latest episodes of her podcast as well. So thank you so much, Miss Shelley.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Soul Diving Sunday show featuring transformational life coach Shelley Whizin. Follow Shelley at ShelleyWhizin.com. Follow us at BigBlendRadio.com.